Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene of Living World of Darkness, Radio Cross New York. And today's scene, we start off at, the place where we usually start off our scenes. A beautiful, glorious, worldwide known park of New York City, the Central Park, that unknowingly to a lot of simple humans holds a whole group of werewolves inside. A place called the Sept of the Green. It is starting to really warm up in New York City. Summer is appearing, and especially in between the skyscrapers of Manhattan, there's barely any wind blowing. It is actually a relief for a lot of people to be in Central Park, walk amongst the trees, or have a little breeze on their faces as they seek some refuge from the city with all its noises and all its smells and all its warmth. It is in this Central Park, in the Sept of the Green, in the Umbra, that we will find Mr. Jacob Clay, Philodox of the Silver Fang clan tribe. Clearly, I've not SD'd for quite some time. Jacob, please, what are you doing today? How are you doing?
Jacob in the Umbra right now is
Mhm.
probably helping Twigs tend to her little sapling.
Twig is very busy as always. Well, I mean, actually during winter, it seemed to Twig seemed to be more sleepy, almost like sluggish. But now that spring has gone and summer is showing, Twig has is just energetic as ever. Is jumping up and down and pointing out. No, 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 no. You need to point the branch that way. That way, lad. Twig is also changing her accent on a daily basis. God damn it. Anyway, um, yeah, as you are um, tending to Twig's garden, that's becoming a lustrous, chaotic sight. See, this is why I don't do accents, because I can't hold them up well.
We'll do all of the accents.
All of them for one
All
character.
of them.
God. Um, there is a howl ringing through the umbra. Um, Very melodic, very you'd say almost sophisticated. It almost seems to lack the wildness that comes with a howl. It's there, but almost as if someone has tried to make it an art form. Um, a simple wordless howl that has the melody of requesting entrance to the Sept grounds.
Alright, in which case, uh, Jacob will howl back, asking where this person is so he can go meet them at the boundaries to the Bourne, boundaries to the Sept.
Hmm. Um, there's a moment of silence, almost as if this person is trying to think about an answer. Um, and Hal gets back. I just stepped off the moon bridge.
Jacob will howl back, be right there, and Jacob will go to Twig, or Twigs, and pats her on the head and just says, I'll be right back.
And
And
Twig will not. I don't dare to do her accent again, because I'd need to rewatch the scene to see what kind of accent I actually gave her. And we'll happily jump into some bushes and start like you know almost reshaping them, oddly speaking.
reshape the bush, become the bush. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, Jacob will hurry off to the moon bridge. Or the what's it called? The stone that you use to trigger the moon
Yeah,
bridge.
that place. Yeah, I couldn't come up with it either, and I'm not gonna dig through all the books just to get one name. So the stepping stone, blah.
I think it's like a path stone or something.
Yeah, could very well be. And yeah, in front of it, there is this man standing, or is he a man? It's a bit unclear actually. Like you'd say, especially with the howl and the way it sounded, that it was like a deep voice of a man. But like dress him up differently, and you would sworn that it might have been a woman. But yeah, he's standing there. There's probably already someone else there as well. Like a random guardian. It's like talking to him. You can hear him say, "No, I'm seeking Mr. Clay, please. It is of the utmost importance."
Oh, well, you have him.
And both of them look up. The guardian is definitely of lower rank than you are, so we'll, you know, kind of not fuck off because you didn't give him any permission to leave. So just kind of bows and just steps away. And yeah, the individual looks you up and down, almost the look of being underwhelmed on his face, and will introduce himself. I am Noah, sing songs of Silver Houghton, Silver Fang Galliard Athro. I'm the scribe of the High King.
Um, in which case, Jacob will just make a brief bow submission, and we'll simply say, well, in that case, it's an honor, Raya. You already know who I am, but Jacob Clay, Adrian Homid, Philodox, Silverfang.
Of House Wormfoe.
Hmm. What are the Sun Master Challenges?
Hmm. Yes, I've heard tales. I've come here to hand you a letter.
Oh,
Yes. And as King Morningkill so fondly put it, answer any and all questions you may have that can be answered.
Jacob has a very curious, inquisitive. I think actually the best word for this is inquisitive look on his face. To say, oh, very interesting. Okay.
And yeah, he'll hand you a heavy envelope that simply says like just your first name actually, which is a bit weird because that feels very informal.
It's very informal, but it's Gerard Morningskill. He's a chill bro. He's a chill guy. And yeah, Jacob will open up the letter as the player opens up a notepad.
Um, I'll copy paste it to you later. That will save you some typing. Um, and as Noah just takes like water from a flask and just takes his time relaxing for a little bit, you can read the letter, which says to Jacob Clay. It is with some interest that I have watched the Sept of the Green, as I have called it my home for many years. Mother Larissa has kept me updated on all of your progress, and it has come to my attention that you are ready for an Athro challenge. Since there is no Silver Fang Philodox present on the Sept, I decided to give you a task to complete your challenge. You will follow the silver pathways to the dark continent of Africa. There, within a shrine underneath the Mount Kilimanjaro, lies an object that has belonged to House Wormfoe since the beginning of time. I ask of you to obtain this item and bring it to me. Kind regards, Gerard Morningkill, High King of the Nation.
Okay, Jacob reads diligently, and immediately more than a few questions pop out to him as he does have questions, and it was very courteous of the High King to leave his um, honored herald to answer these questions for him. What a nice guy.
I mean,
What a benevolent High King we have. um, Jacob will go. Did you know what was in this letter by the by?
nope, but he seemed very keen on me delivering it to you.
Okay. Well,
So, whatever is in the letter, I am sure I can at least assist.
I've been given a task to retrieve something from Kilimanjaro.
I see.
Um, yes, the letter says you'll follow the silver pathways to the dark continent of Africa. There, than a shrine underneath the Mount Kilimanjaro lies an object that's belonged to House Wormfoe since the beginning of time. I'll ask you to obtain this item and bring it to me. Did Songs of Silver say what house he is from?
He has not, actually.
Okay. Would you happen to know what this item is?
Mm. I have heard actually several tales. Either it was a weapon or a music instrument, or perhaps both.
Hmm. Oh, I'm good at one of those things. Um, would you know what the silver pathways are?
A fancy way of saying Moonbridge?
No. Never heard them called silver pathways before. That's new to me. Yeah,
Hmm.
well, you know. So, would you mind sharing some of these tales with me? Quite interested now.
Tales of the item, of the lands, of the house Wormfo.
The Artem, and maybe anything that's happened in and around Kilimanjaro since might be related to it.
Hmm. Actually, it's still a mystery how the item showed up in Africa. We know that it was taken from one of our ancestors and not by honorable combat. Stolen. He's It's never been passed down into history as to how they managed to steal such an item. So let's just presume that the might of the High King's Keep was, well, based on facing a direct threat and not midnight thievery. And I'm sure it's remedied since then. But the item once played a part in reuniting all tribes for but a single event by Isaiah Morningkill.
This item united all the tribes.
No, but it assisted. In the end, it was Isaiah that united all the tribes. And I'm sure that he has paid many prices for that. Might still be paying them.
Isaiah, that's a name I've heard more than a few times.
Indeed. As you should. You are of House Wormfell, after all.
He was the one who stopped the Storm Eater, if I'm correct.
Indeed.
But we don't know specifically what this item is.
Hmm. As I said, I've heard tales of it being a harp. I've heard tales of it being a bow.
Sorry, a bow and
A harp.
a harp.
I've heard one tale of a person claiming that it was not but a simple stone, which,
Hmm.
to be fair, strikes me as extremely odd.
Strange that we seem to have so little info on the item in question, considering if it assisted Isaiah, I mean,
Hmm.
Isaiah only died, what, around a century and a half ago?
Yes, but, well, after his death, mm, a lot of the tribes did not hold him in as high regard as we do now, and his tales got forgotten rather fast. It's not been until recently that these tales have emerged again, but they come with holes in them. mysteries.
Hmm. But you're right, it does beg the question of how it wound up in Africa. It's pretty far out of both Isaiah and tribe in general.
Hmm. Well, Isaiah was a theurge of some renown. I presume, well, it's my theory that I've based on the stories as I've heard them, that he that this item might have helped him in his dealings with the spirits.
Okay.
Perhaps that is whoever took it was interested in as well.
So they took it from Isaiah or after his death?
After his death.
Hmm.
It was kept safe, but apparently a weakness was spotted, which Noah does not seem very, you know, happy to have to admit that there is a weakness in a defense. Like, at least you are also of Houseworm Foe. You'd think he might not have told you that if you had been anyone else.
Hmm. Hmm. Do we know who? Where was it taken?
It was, as he is actually gonna open a little notebook. It says here that it was not brought to the hiking sept, but to a sept in the south. The sept, there was a party called Mardi Gras, and as the Garu of the sept was celebrating, the next morning they found the item missing and the guards that were placed around the vault dead.
Hmm.
At first they suspected Black Spiral Dancers because, or at least some agents of Black Spiral Dancers, because of the area the step was located in. It was in the midst of the bayou. But they couldn't find any trace of Wormtaint, so it's always remained a mystery. And, well, as said before, the item wasn't of much interest at that point. It was merely a interesting artifact.
Pardon, what did he say last? Something about spirit?
It was merely an interesting artifact.
Hmm. Do we know who runs? Do the Silverfangs run this set now? Still, I might pay it a visit, see if there's anything they can tell me.
They used to, but not even a year ago. It was run over. It fell.
That's a shame.
Do you think it matters to your quest, then?
It may have been worth investigating just to see if there's any information I could pick up about the island.
Of
The,
course.
the more I know, uh, the more likely it is I'll succeed. So better to go in prepared than well than completely blind. But if that's not an option, then well, it's not an option. Might be something I can consult with some spirits on, though.
Perhaps so.
Hmm. What about Kilimanjaro, though?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Kilimanjaro.
Yes, the mount. What's
Yeah,
about it?
any tells you might think that relevant that have shown up in recent years, decades, past century or so.
As far as we know, it is in the hands of the Bastet, known as the Simba.
Oh, interesting. I actually know a Bastard in New York.
Do you now?
Not a Simba though.
It looks like there's something dirty.
Yeah, his name was Swift Runner. We've Decept and he have made deals with each other in the past. It's actually proven to have worked out, although the Simba I have, I'm not particularly well educated on.
What I've heard is that they are arrogant creatures, mostly. It's been an ongoing conflict there.
If it's in the hands of the Simba, that's going to complicate things a great deal.
I mean, you can opt to fail before you start.
No, I'm just considering how this changes the nature of my challenge.
I know there are several packs in that area of Garu. Maybe you could join one of them.
It's also a sept in North Africa. I believe it's one of the few silent strider septs left. The Sept of the Tar?
Yes, except of the wheel.
Hmm. I might pay them a brief visit and see what I can find out. I've been there before.
I am sure they would welcome you with open arms.
Well, they did the last time. It was actually it was very nice. Largely to get more familiar with Simba. I don't just want to be walking onto their turf and not really know what to say or do. That seems like it'd be a recipe for disaster.
Prudent, I suppose.
But if it's in the hands of the Simba, then they must know what it is.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Hmm.
I am not familiar with Pharaoh like you. I do not make deals with them.
Hmm. I'm not an expert on the Pharaoh. I know a bit about some, but it's neither here nor there. Uh, So item Kilimanjaro. Currently in or around Simba territory. Ugh. She kind of mulls over this in silence for a little bit.
No, I will give him time to mull as he is taking out some dried meat and starts chewing on it.
Do you know anything about this shrine?
Hmm, not too much. The Garu that gave us this information, well, let's just say they didn't have it all together anymore. It's a shame when someone loses their mind. But they mentioned something of, well, lions, and I'm not sure if they refer to a spirit or the Simba themselves.
Hmm. I could always ask my totem, I suppose.
Well, there was a reason why you were given this task.
Hmm. Jacob navel-gazes for another moment.
Hmm?
Well, I'll see about getting it done.
I am sure the hiking will be very pleased to hear this. Is there any assistance that you require from House Wormfowl? Be it, well, you could perhaps rouse up a few Foster to come with you, or perhaps some Talons.
Hmm. Definitely,
Simba, I've heard, are a mighty warrior, so a Gaia's breath might be handy.
I definitely think I'm going to need some totems if the last Athro challenge I was involved in is any indication.
Hmm.
Uh, and I must admit, some company would be reassuring. With my pack mate being recalled to his homeland does leave me a bit high and dry. I'm trying to involve more people in my pack, make sure that there actually is a pack concept, but it's going to take a few days to sort out.
Well, the challenge won't run away.
This is true. If nothing else, it doesn't seem like this artifact's going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, unless the conflict gets concluded, I suppose.
What's the conflict?
Hmm. Well, the shrine seems to be of some import, and there has been, in recent history, there's been many fights amongst the Simba, what I've heard, to see who would be able to claim it. They've reached sort of a stalemate, but it's caught the interest of, as I said, several packs of Garou.
Hmm. Jacob seems to view the idea of like planking up a Helvish shrine with a bit of disdain. He thinks it's a bit childish when there are more pressing matters.
I mean, you know.
I want the shrine. No, I want the shrine. And then the worm's like, but we're gonna get it.
Mm, I mean,
um, we're gonna
wars
get
have
all
been
the
fought
shrines.
over sillier things.
This is definitely true. Fucking cubs. A lot of them. But Jacob will just go. Hmm. And yeah, I may start with paying the Satofi Tara visit, then see what I can learn about this conflict and everything surrounding this shrine. But I would appreciate some companions and talents. I think they're definitely not going to go unused or unappreciated, I think.
Well, I will bring this news back to the High King. I am sure that there are some who would love hmm, to gain the glory of such an honorable mission to accompany you,
I'm sure they would. And I hope to lead them all well.
as is your duty.
Yes, he reads the letter one more time. He's already asked about the conflict, the shrine, the item, the Simba. Based on what he's been given, that's pretty much all the things he needs to ask for, and he's already asked for help. So Jacob will just say, I think that's all, but I thank you for delivering this message and answering my questions. I much appreciate it.
Of course. I apologize for the holes in the story, but that is exactly why you are being sent to fill up some of these holes.
Hmm.
Do you
I'll,
have any idea in how many days you will be ready so that I can, well, send the Fostern on their way?
um,
Would be a shame if they would not be here on time.
Give me 96 hours, and I'll have everything sorted by then.
Of course. Then in 96 hours, I will see you again.
Looking forward to it.
And yeah, now I will step back on the moon bridge and will quickly disappear out of sight.
And Jacob will just kind of bow because he's higher ranked, and he's just saying goodbye.
Mhm. Then I guess we can end the introduction to your Athro challenge here.
Yes, we can. Thank you, ST for STing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you, player, for playing.
Thank you, Fuzzy.